is Showcase to Evaluation Choice Board, and my topic of the lesson is the solar system. And so I talk about stars and moon and sun and planets, all of it. So this is my choice board. Option 1 would be to create a craft focusing on one or two of your favorite planets, and I'll show an example. Number 2 is to read a story aloud with the class. Number 3 is to play a Kahoot about the solar system. Number 4 is to make phases of the moon out of Oreos. Number 5 is to use a virtual reality headset to show a video. 6 is to pass out to each student a worksheet with the planets' names and have them match it to a description. Option 7 is to cut and make their own solar system flipbook. Number 8 is to learn a song to help memorize the planets. And number 9 is to explore Space Online learning game to end the class. So the first one is the craft. I have the link to it there. And this would be, they could create a few of their favorite planets using the watercolor. And so while they're working on this, I would kind of explain to each student why that planet has rings around it or why that planet is big or small, and kind of give them more details as they're coloring it and making it similar to the pictures that they were shown. The second one is read a story. I picked this one called Me and My Place in Space by Joan Sweeney because I remember when I read this during space when I was a kid, and I just think it was a cute little one. So I feel like as we're reading, we would just talk about the story as we go. At the end, have group discussions, talk about the pictures, do all the fun story things. Next is to play Kahoot. I did link to Kahoot, one of them that I found about the solar system, but I feel like I would make my own because I would make it a little bit easier. This one's kind of hard, and I feel like kindergartners to first graders would be using a very much easier Kahoot. So I feel like after going over the lesson about the planets, the sun, the stars, I would do a Kahoot to follow that and kind of gain a little knowledge for myself, see where they're at, and also Kahoot's a fun game, so it'll keep them engaged. Next is the Phases of the Moon Oreo edition. And actually this morning when I was making this, I realized that this activity is on the website that I'm using later, but I didn't see that at the time. So I actually got this from one of my teacher friends, well, my mom's teacher friends. So anyway, I would teach and demonstrate the phases of the moon for the class, and then I would supply 8 Oreos, and each student would do their best to replicate each phase the best that they could on the Oreo. This is a super fun and engaging activity that would keep the students focused while reviewing the material at the same time. Next is the virtual reality headset. This is really what I focused on in Showcase 1, just because I feel like it was a really different piece of technology, and it was actually really cool for me when I was in high school. I know we did this, and so maybe if they got like a little kid one, I think that it'd be really cool to just let them feel as if they're in space, feel as if they're on Mars. Like I think that that's a very, very cool experience that if the school that I'm at allows for that to happen and has the money for that to happen, I think that that's definitely a very good learning investment to make. But I would control the video, so each student would be viewing the same thing. This way we could all discuss what we were seeing at the moment, and it will engage the students while educating them on what space really looks and feels like. So this is my worksheet to collect the data. I linked to the website that I got it from, and it can be completed right after we discussed what makes each planet unique. So since kindergartners and first graders aren't really great readers yet, I would have them try, but I would most likely end up reading each question aloud, give them a few seconds to try and match them to which planet that they think it is. And I feel like this would be a practical assessment that would help me as a teacher see how much they are understanding. This is a great way for me to grade it and record the data of how much they're really retaining. Next is the solar system flipbook, and this flipbook will be used for the students to review the planets in order at home, at school, or on the go. They will have fun cutting it out and be amused by all of the silly drawings. This will also help them become more familiar with what the planets look like. And so this is, I just put an example of a flip book that I could use. And I feel like we'd probably cut this out at the end of one of our lessons or at the end of the day when we had time, and then just I'll staple it and they can just flip through it and kind of guess which one's going to kind of come next, or however they really want to do it. It's kind of personalized, so that's good. Next is the planet song, and this was the song that I learned when I was learning my planets. It's such a good one, even though it's from Blue's Clues. It's super catchy and gives great hints for the students to connect with each planet and remember them. I feel like this song is a great way to end the lesson because it will draw their attention back to the learning and while still having fun. And lastly is the NASA online space game. So this is the game that I found, well, actually this is the website I found the Oreos on. Anyway, this website has a ton of games. I'll show you now. So this is the website. It has a ton of different games. We'll click the solar system. And down here, you can go to games and then they appear down here. And you do have to download Adobe, I think, to play these sometimes. So you'd have to make sure that is up to date. But there are a ton of games, a ton of things about the Earth. There's crafts ideas, which is where I saw the Oreo moon phases. There's different activities you can do, watercolor or weather word cross. Like there's a ton of fun things on here. And I think that this is something, sorry, let me hop back over. So I think that this website is a really great way to utilize time because although it is gaming and it is playing around on a website, I feel like there's a ton of information on here that if they played it a few different times, they could really become comfortable with the website and end up really learning a lot from it. So that's why I chose that. And that's it.